In this video, I'm going to show you the work of a designer that completely blew my mind. So if you're looking for inspiration, this is the video you don't want to miss. Hello, I'm your host Casino from Casino.com. I'm the digital alchemist, and like I said, today I'm going to show you the work of a designer that completely blew my mind. Now, there are many talented designers out there, but this one is really top level. And if you want to get inspired, if you want to get better at web design, and basically if you want to master your craft, you might as well learn from the best ones. Okay, so today we'll be reviewing the portfolio of a designer called Dist Lemoto, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce. And he's a designer from Shanghai, China. So if you were wondering if you can actually show your portfolio without having a website, of course you can. Now, I still believe that it's best to have your own website with your own portfolio, but places like this are really great, places like Behance, because there's a lot of traffic on this website, so it can be good to double up on this type of platforms. So this designer really caught my eye because usually designers have couple of nice designs or a few nice designs, but with this designer, I must say I've been very impressed, and it's been a while I haven't been impressed in such a way. So this is the main portfolio page on Behance, and to cut a long story short, I first came across this design here. So I came across this design and I really loved it. The way it was laid out, I don't know if you can see it, but the thin lines here across the design, the very clean form, the way he plays with the images and the colors, I thought this was really brilliant. Now, because we were watching this on Behance, the quality might not be as good as it would be on the final project, but that's what we have. So I just wanted to make that clear. So let's take a look at a few more designs. So this one is called Golamang Watch. And just to make this clear, I don't know if he actually designed for real product. I don't know if this is a real product, but I know some of the products are real. So I don't know if he actually designed for that brand or if he just wanted to showcase what he can do. And that would be valid for the rest of this video. So as you can see, and you will see that in a few of his designs, he really plays with the layouts, you know, with 3 parts like this, or sometimes he's laid out differently. And I think it just looks good. I really like the contrast here and the images. And for the rest of this video also, images are really, really important. And even beyond that video, if you know my channel, I often talk about the importance of good images. So this is really clean, and you're gonna hear that word a lot in this video, clean and fresh. But basically this is a layout for an e-commerce, and I like the way it's laid out because it's kind of different from what we're used to see, especially here on YouTube when we see videos about e-commerce. This is really, really different. This is pure design. I think it's really beautiful, but of course it's a lot more work. Now you may find some themes that come with such designs, but if you're here, I guess you want to be a web designer, or maybe you're already a web designer or a graphic designer. And my hope is that this is going to inspire you to craft your own with your own twists. Yeah, especially love this one. So the gray background and then the white part here. Of course, it's just a mock-up to showcase the mobile version, but you could also think, why not use that to actually show cars of the products? So that's how you get the inspiration going. Okay, so let me move to the next one called Independent Clothing Brand, actually Kong Store, Independent Clothing Brand. Once again, the choice of images are really, really well done. The font also, and I'll come back to that later. So it's Helvetica New, you probably know that font, but the way you used it, I really like. So the mobile layout is just beautiful. I don't know what you think. Let me know in the comments. And there's a lot of consistency within his designs. Even though the designs are different, you can kind of feel this is from this designer. Look at this one. So for example here, what I like is, once again, the very clean layouts, the visual hierarchy of the font. So here we have the big title, and then here we have smaller text, smaller copy. And I like also that box here that can really draw attention away from the big title, but you start from top to bottom, and most obviously from left to right, depending on where you are on the planet. So basically, when you start looking, you first look at the conks text here, and then you most probably will move to the image and then to this box here. So I think it's very well executed. And once again, very clean images. Okay, next we have Meadow. So here it says it's web and logo design. So I guess this is a real project. I really like that part. So how he plays with the shades of gray and a lot of white space, a lot of space, makes it look really luxurious, really high end. I also like this here, those lines and the way he lays out lists, and I will show you that a little bit later in the mood board. Once again, very, very clean. Next, ifs.om, and it says here web and app UI. So I guess it's also a real project. I would love to go and look for that. But there are many, many projects on this portfolio. So this here is just brilliant. In my opinion, I see this and I'm like, whoa, I'm in love with this design. The color palettes, the fonts, the visual hierarchy, the images, it all looks really high-end, really clean. And once again, as I explained before, he likes to play with three blocks in his layouts. They're not always laid out in the same way, but I noticed that in his design. So I think it's really good. Well, I say his, maybe it's her design. I don't know. I like the footer here also. And actually that footer made it to my mood board, which I will show you at the end of this video. So the next one is menu or menu. I don't know. Is it menu like Man United? Let me know which team you support in the comments. So he plays with, once again, with beautiful images, but he plays with the colors, with the contrast as usual. This one really draw attention. That color is really popping, and I think it's really good because usually mixing colors can start to look really nasty very, very fast. But here it just looks harmonious, if I can say so. So here we have a controller play jam game. Actually, play jam game system exists, but once again, I don't know if he created that for them or if it's just a showcase project. We can see there's also consistency in the list. He really likes to divide lists with this type of dividers. And once again, plays with shades of gray. Always beautiful images. So if you're wondering how you can make your web design better, start with great looking images. You know, it's halfway of a good design. So the next one in his portfolio is Nera, and it says website and app UI UX. I love this. I've actually used similar type of layouts in a recent project, except mine was on the left hand side. But I really love this because mine was smaller and this one is really bolder. I think it's really it looks really clean, as you may have guessed I was going to say. The choice of images also is very, very important. Don't just pick any picture. Even when I get pictures from a professional photographer, I will spend the time, I will make the test, see how it looks in responsive modes because I want the website to look really good. So I'm not going to pick the first picture I get. And as you can see here, this could be like a tablet version in portrait mode, and this could be the mobile version. Okay, some variations. Super clean. So let me know which one you prefer so far. Okay, next we have OOS Brain Vision. And here it doesn't say what it did. But I mean, I don't even need a suitcase, and that design makes me want to purchase a suitcase. So I like the contrast between the gray and the silver here, and then we have that blue color that's really popping, and the blueprint like outline of the product. Once again, visual hierarchy is stellar. You know, the whole thing is just plain beautiful. Now, look at this design. I don't know about you, but this is the type of website that I love creating. But most of the time, I don't get such quality pictures from the clients. And the only times I get it is when they actually work with a photographer. Actually, I do actually work with a photographer, and I always recommend his services. But some clients, they just think that because they have an iPhone, they could take a picture. And granted, iPhones take beautiful pictures, but it's not going to replace the eye of the photographer. The iPhone is just a tool. The photographer has an eye, and also the technique, because you could tell me here what's with the eye of the photographer. Well, it's the technique, the lighting technique, so that you don't have too many reflections, and you don't have areas that are really burned by the light. I mean, it must be correctly exposed and all of that, but I'm not going to expand on this. But cut a long story short, photos are so important. So this design is really simple, but making simple design is what's actually complex. So far, I think this one is kind of my favorite, with the first one I showed you also. Those two I really love. Okay, let's move on to the FE Hotel projects. So what did he do? We have no information on that. I guess it's going to be UI, UX. So that's the calendar, colorful and clean. But what I really like is this. The way the website will be presented, it kind of breaks away from the usual presentation of every hotel website I've been to. Visual hierarchy is respected. I like that card style. So you have the clean white background on one side, and then you have a beautiful image on the other side. Once again, we have that block here. We've seen kind of a similar thing in a previous design. The text, not too much, not too little. I would have liked to see it with the text in a lighter color, maybe a white or a light gray. But there you go, a very original website when it comes to hotel websites. Next, let's move on to building design. So here we have the usual style of this Lemoto, the card style also. Once again, beautiful images. And I like the way how he presented the mobile version. It's good to use perspective shots like this. You can get this from marketplaces where basically it's a Photoshop file where you're just going to replace the image here with a smart objects, and you're going to replace it with your design. And that really helps client to see what it's going to look like on the final design. Okay, here we see the desktop version with a vertical nav. We have some more layouts. I like the type of gallery here. And vertical navigation can be nice, but it can also look really old school if you don't do it the right way. But here, as you may have guessed, he did it the perfect way. That looks so clean. So far you've heard the word clean, you've heard the words beautiful pictures, that kind of stuff, because it's so important. Basically, design is really simple. You respect those elements, you have a nice color palette, you have a nice logo, nice images. Most of the job is done. Okay, next we got Kiko Projects. So right out of the bat, as you can see here, the font is beautiful. The visual hierarchy, the white space, the picture looks really professional. The colors are popping. Basically, it's got everything to be a beautiful design, and it is. Now, the photographer did a great job here, and that helps the designer, the web designer, to make a beautiful website. Here is the mobile version. Here you see the tablet version, mobile version. Typography plays a big role in this design, and it's just plain beautiful. And you see, if I had to create a mood board, I'm going to show you what I would do with all of this. I like these effects also. So we have text in the background and text on top, but that's very readable. I like this also. So a very large spacing between the letters. And there you go. That was Kiko. Okay, last but not least, XD Projects show. So this one is more like a fashion website, and I'm going to show you what I like. It's this. I like the way he lays out the list, and we've talked about that earlier in this video, but I really like the way he did it. And actually that could help me in a project I'm working on, because I was trying to make lists and I tried many different options, but this one gives me a very good idea of what I could do with my own twists, but it gives me a very good idea for that. Once again, shades of gray, beautiful typography, visual hierarchy, beautiful. I love this footer also. So as promised, this is a mood board. Now, in real life, I would not do a mood board with everything from one designer. Actually, I would create a mood board with, I don't know, some screenshots of websites, some paintings, some pictures, some random pictures I saw on Pinterest. I don't know, it could be anything, but you get the idea. And actually, if you're interested in how to go from idea to mood board to design, I created a video for that. So I'll try to put a link in the description below. Okay, so let's take a look. Some of the elements you saw already, I mean all of the elements, but I'm going to tell you why they made it to the mood board. So here is the list I talked about, and I love using mood board because now I get everything in one place. And basically when I create a mood board, it's because I want to find a direction for the design. It's not about stealing, it's about which direction do I want to go in. And packing a mood board with a lot of visual clues is really going to help you. Right after you watch all of this, you start to know what you want to do. And usually that's what I do. I look at the mood board for a while and I try to think, okay, why do I like this? Where do I want to go? And then I start my own design. Okay, so you see the various element here. You see the footer that I talked about. Here you have a block. It's a typography I actually liked here. This is the first website I came across from this designer, and I think it's so beautiful. Here we have the gallery I talked about, and here you see the fonts. So I think it was Helvetica New. And actually, I was really inspired by that font for a project I'm working on, but I want to use Google Fonts for that project. So I will show you what I did. So once again, I love this type of typographic blocks. It's not really graphical in terms of images, but it's typographic and I think it's beautiful. So the 3 parts layout that I've talked about before, that we also see here and here. I love the color palette also, and overall how clean the whole thing is. This could be good for an information card. Okay, some more stuff about design, typography. Once again, the dividers, the line dividers, I really love. Also love this type of image because I could use this for a hero section or for a heading section on secondary pages also. This one also I told you I love very much. Same idea. I love it so much that it made it to a whole artboard here. This one also I talked about. I like the contrast, but I've already talked about that. But just to let you know, it made it to my mood board because this is really clean and beautiful, and I may want to have that kind of inspiration for a type of project I'm working on. For example, if I work for a house builder, for an architect, or for a fashion designer, this could really help. And once again, it's not about stealing, it's about getting inspired, adding your own twist, adding various sources of inspiration. Here we have Kiko, which I also really loved for the color palette, but also for the font. So this one you've seen already. Like I said, I like the spacing between the letters, and it also gave me an idea. So in order to find a font, what I did is I went to FontJoy, which I've already covered in a previous video. So I went to fontjoy.com and I started looking for fonts. I also Googled closest font to, and then I put the name of the font. And then I went to check this one here. And if you know the principle of FontJoy, you can just generate it. It's going to generate some fonts, and then you can lock the fonts one by one. And basically I ended up using Nuneato Sans, which I think is really, really beautiful. Now, I don't know what you think, but I really love his work. I know I said it many times, as well as the words clean and beautiful, but hey, that's how it is. Now, I'd be interested to know which design you prefer. So please let me know in the comments below. And if you want to refer to which design I talked about, I said the names and you can see the names of all the designs. So just rewind the video. So let me know which one inspired you, which one you prefer and why. Now, if you want more inspiration videos, make sure you subscribe and smash the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps growing the channel. And by the way, if you want to create a killer brand identity for yourself or for your clients, I created the brand identity guidelines templates that you can download on my website for free. Initially, it was made for Affinity Designer, but you can use it with Adobe Illustrator with a workaround. So if you're interested, just go to kesina.com/branding. So that's it for this video. Make sure you don't miss the next one. And in the meantime, don't forget to invest in your success.